Hi everyone, I hope you're okay, and I hope that the videos we keep uploading are helping you out. On this video guys, I'll be tackling the ninth question from the preliminary exam which was written in the year of 2024 in the province of Mpumalanga. Please do expect a total number of 9 videos since the question paper has 9 questions in total, and that simply means each and every question will have its own video. And please guys, do take this seriously. I strongly believe that knowing how to tackle exam questions will give you an edge whenever you write your preliminary exam, and most importantly your final examination. So please guys, do share the video to your peers so that they may have the same edge as you. And please guys, do help us grow the channel by just subscribing. Okay, we are told that events A and B are mutually exclusive. It is given that the probability of B is 2 times that of A. Okay, they want us to find the probability of B. Since the two events, guys, are mutually exclusive, I can therefore conclude that the probability of A or B is equal to the probability of A plus the probability of B. All right, together. This is just equal to 0.57 as given, and then we have the probability of A, but we are told that the probability of B is 2 times the probability of A. The probability of B is just 2 times the probability of A. So I'll have 0.57 being equal to 3 times the probability of A. If I divide both sides by 3, I'll have 0.57 divided by 3, and then the answer will simply be 0.19 is equal to the probability of A. But I was never asked to find the probability of A, right? I was asked to find the probability of B. Remember that, guys, the probability of B is 2 times that of A. So the answer will just be 2 times 0.19, which will give me 0.38. So the probability of B, guys, is just equal to 0.38. Okay, and then now we are told that there are 5 loaves of brown bread and 7 loaves of white bread on the shelf in the local supermarket. Né? Okay, two clients, one followed by the other, each randomly select a loaf of bread from the shelf and put it in their basket. Okay. In total, guys, we have 12 loaves of bread. Ne? In total, we have 12 initially. Are you together? And then obviously, we can represent these guys in a tree diagram. Ne? A person can choose a brown bread or a white bread. Ne? Same applies. The second person can choose brown bread or white bread as well. Okay, so the chances of choosing brown bread initially, guys, it was 5 over 12. 5 over 12, and then the chances of choosing white bread, that would have been 7 over 12. Are you together, guys? Okay, so if the first person takes the bread on the shelf, that means we will now be left with 11 loaves of bread. So our sample space changes to 11 now. Are you together? Okay, so if the person initially chose brown bread, that simply means we will be left with 4 brown breads to choose from. However, the white breads would have been still the same because initially the person has chosen brown bread. But if the person has chosen white bread, what would have been the possible outcomes? Initially, the first person chose white bread. That means we still have 5 loaves of brown bread. Are you together? And then that means we would be remaining of 6 loaves of white bread. So these guys are the possible outcomes. Né? The possible outcomes, guys, it's either the two people will choose brown bread only, or the first person will choose brown bread, the second one will go for white bread, or the first person will choose white bread and the second one will go for brown bread, or both of them will just go for white bread. These are the possible outcomes. Are you together? Okay, now let's go and see the questions. Determine the probability that the first client takes a loaf of white bread. The first client, guys, remember that these three diagrams, this one represents the first client, and then the chances over there are for the second client. So I'm looking, I want to find the probability that the first client has chosen white bread. So that's just 7 over 12. That's just 7 over 12, It's 7 over 12. Okay, assume that the owner of the shop does not replace any of the loaves of brown bread on the shelf after a client has taken a loaf of bread. Determine the probability that both clients take a loaf of brown bread. There's our possible chance over there, guys. We're just going to multiply out those probabilities. So the probability that both clients take brown bread is just equal to 5 over 12. This is just equal to 5 over 12 multiplied by 4 over 11. And that will give us our probability. Let me just punch my calculator. 5 over 12 multiplied by 4 over 11. The answer is just 5 over 33. Which is 0.151515, which is reoccurring. The probability of both clients choosing brown bread is just 5 over 33. Okay, if the first client takes, we are told that if the first client takes a loaf of white bread, the owner of the shop places a loaf of brown bread with the other loaves on the shelf. Okay, and then if the first client takes a loaf of brown bread, the owner of the shop places a loaf of white bread with the other shelf. Okay, determine the probability that the loaf of white bread and the loaf of brown bread is sold to two clients. Okay, so basically, guys, our sample space still remains the same. Our sample space still remains the same. So now there is replacement, guys. So that's why our sample space will remain as 12. 12. 12. The only thing that changes is the possible outcomes. We are told that okay, let me clean this over here just to show that there's a revamp on the conditions of the question. Okay, we are told that, guys, if a client chooses brown bread, the owner will replace the brown bread with the white bread. Are you together? So initially, guys, we had 5 brown breads and 7 white breads, loaves of bread. So if a client chooses brown bread, that means we will be left with 4 brown breads. However, we'll just add one of the loaves of our white bread. So over there we'll simply have 8. Are you together? But if the first client chooses white bread, yes, we will be left with 6. Are you together? However, we need to add from the initial amount of brown bread, so we'll also have a 6 over there. So they just want us to find the probability that that both clients determine the probability that a loaf of white bread and a loaf of brown bread is sold. Okay. Over here, guys, I just want to find the probability of buying brown bread or white bread. So it's not brown bread or white bread, it's brown bread and white bread. Are you together? So I can simply take the brown bread first, followed by the white bread, or I can take the white bread first, followed by a brown bread. Are you together? But at the end of the day, guys, both both different loaves are sold. Okay, so the probability of buying brown and white, that's just 5 over 12 multiplied by 8 over 12. 5 over 12 times 8 over 12 plus white and brown, that's 7 over 12 multiplied by 6 over 12. Let's see what does this give us. 5 over 12 multiplied by 8 over 12 plus 7 over 12 multiplied by 6 over 12, and the answer is just 41 over 72, which can be written as 0.5694. That's how, guys, you're supposed to tackle that question of lows over there. The probability is just equal to 0.5694. Okay, and then now we are told that every morning a father has to drop his children off the school on his way to work and pick them up again on his way home from work. There are 3 different roads from home to school, 5 different roads from school to work. Excuse me. Okay. In how many different ways? In how many ways can the father travel from home to work? The father needs to travel from home to work, but he cannot just go straight from home to work. He needs to travel via the school first, So there are 3 possible ways he can choose from moving from home to the school, and then there are 5 different ways he can choose from moving from school to work. So in all, there are 15 different ways that he can choose from. Okay, in how many ways can the father travel from home to work and back to his home? He first needs to travel to school, so there are 3 ways to travel to choose from, and then going to work, there are 5 ways that he can choose from, and then moving from work back to the school to fetch his or her children, there's still 5 ways, and then going from the school, moving from the school going back home, there are just 3 ways. So the answer over there, guys, is just 3 times 5 times 5 times 3. The answer is just 225 ways. There's 225 ways. Okay, in how many ways can the father travel from his home to work and back to his home if he does not use the same road twice? Okay. Initially, the father will travel from school, rather from his home to school. There are 3 routes he can choose from, and then from school to work, there are 5 routes he can choose from. And then now he wants to move from work going back to school. Since he's not supposed to use the same route he used initially, that means he's going to choose from the 4 routes he has moving from work going to school, and then he has to choose from the 2 roads moving from school to work. Are you together? So the answer over here, guys, is just equal to 120 ways. There's just 120 ways for the last one. That's how, guys, we're supposed to tackle this question over there. So please, guys, do stay tuned and wait for more videos. Thank you.